Okay, I'm at my office, one of my offices, and I feel like I need to give everybody a bit of an explanation of a going forward video. Where am I currently at? An update video on the great flood of 2023. If you guys didn't see, which I'm sure you did, because if you're here, you probably saw it, or if not, hey, welcome in. But my shed, which is my game room, recently flooded. When I started recording the video, what you guys saw while my game room was flooding was probably like an hour after it was already flooded, or an hour after I discovered that it was flooded. Because when I first saw it, obviously I'm not gonna be like, yo, cool, I'm a YouTuber, let me film this. I was like, let me take care of the things I need to take care of, kind of in panic mode. And that's when I decided, like, after everything settled, and I was like, okay, this is where I'm at, and I'm gonna have to just start working on it from here. At that point, that's when I realized, okay, hey, I wanna film some of this and kind of show you guys a little bit of what I could and pieced it together as a video. But the game room flooded. And what you guys didn't see is when I first went in there, it was probably like 3 to 4 inches above the floor line. So it was pretty high up. And for what I have in that game room, it was pretty devastating. You guys didn't see a lot of the things that I lost. I lost, you know, consoles, video games, which is all stuff that can be replaced because there's more of them. But there was some items in there that I was like, gosh, dang it, no, like not that. Some like rare press kit Ghostbuster stuff from some press release ET stuff, a couple rare VHSs. I know it sounds dumb to some people, but they're promotional items. Not even necessarily because of value, even though yes, they were valuable, but more of like, dang it, these are like really good items that I didn't want to lose. They're items that I've always wanted to have in my collection and kind of keep around, but hey, that stuff kind of just happens, and it happens as it happens, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. Well, going forward, maybe the point of this video, yeah, there's probably a lot I could have done about it, but the rains don't really happen like that. So this was unexpected for it to do that, and I was definitely underprepared, which leads me to the whole point of this video. What am I gonna do? Where am I at now? Right now, in this actual moment, it's currently still raining. We're still in the middle of a storm, so to say, which I use this because I'm not used to being real about, yes, California, we've had some pretty gnarly storms, and apparently we're gonna have a few more, which is pretty big bummer because I'm trying to find that point of where this storm stops to where I can kind of be like, okay, let's properly figure this out. First things first is going to be drainage. Figure out some drainage, probably hire some people too to make sure that this thing, that everywhere around the shed, the game room, drains properly. And for whatever I decide to do, which I'll talk about in a second, there will be proper drainage, even if the shed or new room or new game room is 4 feet off the ground on stilts. Regardless, I want proper draining around it because it ruined other things too, like my wife's garden and stuff like that as well. Speaking of the shed, I don't know what to do. This is kind of where I want you guys, and I know a lot of YouTubers say, like, leave it in the comments down below. I'm gonna let you guys in a little secret. A lot of YouTubers say that and they'll never look. There's a reason I don't really say that in my videos. I know a lot of YouTubers do, a lot of YouTube help lines and YouTube summits and these things will be, yeah, I'll tell your people to leave a comment below and leave this. I don't really say that on my channel because I only say that if I genuinely am like, I need to like help. Yes, I always love the comments. I want the comments. They mean the world to me. I read them, but I'm not trying to like manipulate people to comment is what I'm saying, just for the sake of like analytics and views and all that. So with that said, there was so many people that had great advice, but also the video took off more than I was expecting. So with that said, I've gotta make sure this mic is in the right spot. With that said, I read a lot of different opinions. You know, there's over 1,000 comments on the video. I was like, okay, there's a lot of people that have differing opinions. I think the common ground is that yes, there needs to be proper drainage. But the big thing that I'm struggling with, and the big question of this for me, is to rebuild the shed that feels cursed at this point, or to just buy a new one completely and start fresh. Now, my brain initially was like, buy a new one, just get a new one, just put out the money. I know there's cheap options out there. There's like a lot of pre-builts these days, but there's also certain like size limits on these pre-built sheds that when they're a certain size, that they become like something you have to get city permitted and do like certain type of, you know, electrical and this and that. And it becomes a bigger process, you know, where it's gonna be like closer to like 10 grand or to 20 grand versus, you know, fixing it, which could cost a few $1,000s. And again, the costs are all on me. I appreciate there was so much overwhelming support of people who wanted to donate. I didn't accept any. I couldn't, it's just not my thing. I know I could, it's just not my thing to accept free money. Although a lot of you guys showed up on Whatnot, it was crazy. And people were buying stuff that I was selling, which is how I wanted to do it. But a lot of you were still buying things of mine for far over what they were worth. You didn't have to do that. And it made me feel a little uncomfortable, but I'm very thankful. But all the costs are on me, always will be. That's just how it is. It means the world. I never want to let that conversation be skipped of how much it means, even the sentiment of you guys doing what you do. It means the world. Here's the big thing I wasn't expecting to run into. I feel like I'm getting a little excited talking about this. The big thing I wasn't expecting running into, I didn't expect when my brain, the mental state of it, right? Not just like, oh, it's gonna be a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of money and I don't have time these days. I edit for everybody at this point in a full-time job. My brain, something I didn't expect, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy a new one. I'll put out the money, I'll pay the labor for real people to do it, people who know what they're doing to do it, because I clearly don't know. And I'll do it. And I kind of like washed it at that. And there was a weird moment when I was talking with Ricky, and I actually think it was on Whatnot, like live, kind of when I started like thinking about this, and I was like, man, the shed, as dumb as it sounds, and it's just an object, I feel like it's one of the most important things to me on the show, right? You know, we look at nostalgia and we look at video games in our past and our childhood and go, okay, what games really like hold a soft spot in our hearts? You know, what kind of is a big game that was a part of your childhood, that was a part of like your development of who you are as a gamer or whatever it may be. And I realized that the shed, Ricky and I, if you're following Pixel Game Squad, you know, this isn't our only channel we've ever had. We've done this on another channel. We've basically been game hunting on YouTube for around 11 years now, and that shed has always been a part of our journey. Building it with you guys, the first iteration, I mean, which is probably why it's fallen apart so many times. It was literally just a beat up, old, junky shed to the core, and we'd fix it and then things would go wrong. We'd fix it and things would go wrong. We'd fix it and things would go wrong. We'd film skits out of there. We'd do pickup videos. We'd talk with you guys. We'd do live shows from there. It's become such a part of the show that my brain is almost like, right, like an old car that you love. Like, well, I know I could fix it and get a better running one, you know, and just buy a new one and get a better running one that has a new stereo and has this, and it's all brand new. There's no issues, so to say, with it. But your brain, you know, you'll understand, is like, you want to salvage it because it's so important. And as dumb as it sounds, it'd be like, I literally feel like tearing down that shed would be like losing an old friend of the show, because it was so ingrained as part of our show. Ricky and I's friendship, yeah, we were friends all through high school as well, but like as far as like video game conversations and YouTube and this whole world with the community with you guys, so much of it was built around that. That shed was built, that conversations were had in that shed. Ricky's and our friendship kept blossoming and blossoming and growing with other people in that shed. I mean, playing video games in there, building things, making mistakes in there, and going through good times, going through bad times, and using the shed for editing and meeting new clients and doing Zoom calls with other channels. And it just, it wasn't something I expected, that I would have a little bit more of a feeling of like, crap, I don't want this to go. But my only option as far as if I saved it would be obviously do drainage, proper drainage around it, but then like raising it a couple feet, you know, like on stilts or even inside of it, and building it up another 2 feet, and then knocking that roof off, our little janky roof, and then turning that, you know, a couple feet higher. Or actually, I'd probably go up 5 feet higher at this point, because it's only like 6'5" currently, and I'm a 6 foot guy as it is. So I'd like to have a little bit more wiggle room. But I think this comes down to one of those situations where I really would love input. Maybe I'll post like a post as well, like a poll. Like if you were me and given my situation, am I being dumb? Being like, I kind of want to say that, even though it literally feels cursed. And I don't really believe in that stuff. Well, do I? I don't know, maybe I do, I don't know. It feels like it's a lost fight, so to say, right? Going and trying to fix it again. Or would you guys, any of you that actually know construction and this and that, like in that world, it's like, hey dude, it's better just to start fresh. I want to know. I really want those inputs from you guys, as far as collectors, people who have hearts for nostalgia, and also people who are just smart with, you know, construction and what actually should be done on a realistic standpoint. You know, a lot of times nostalgia is so powerful that sometimes we have to push it aside and go, I know it's powerful, I know it's important, but that's not reality at this point, right? You know, people that sell collections and sell things, like sometimes we want that stuff, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So the current state is, hopefully this rain will stop soon. It is supposed to stop soon, and then we're supposed to get a few more storms, which I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to get all this done before those storms hit, or just hope that they're not as hard in case I can't do the proper drainage and all that stuff before then. So it's gonna be a journey. I'll keep you guys updated as it comes. The only thing that would be exciting, and this is the YouTube part of me talking, where I'm like, it would be cool to like do it with you guys and building a new game room and redecorating and this and that, or fixing it, but I don't know. I never want to allow like views or algorithm be the reason, so to say. It's always great when it happens, like the shed, the flooding, but I never want it to be like the driving force of why I do it. Yes, I've done YouTube on a business side before where I'm like, hey, I'm doing this for business reasons and we're growing channels. Hey, let's do this, this, and this. But our retro stuff has always been about, what we love to do. Which, side note, I should say this now, thank you so much for being here on Pixel Plus. This is our second channel and the channel is doing absolutely unbelievable. It is growing so fast. The amount of people that watch are unbelievable, extremely humbling, beyond humbling. The main channel is about 10,000 away or so from 100,000 subscribers. I never thought I could achieve that with something I'm passionate about. We've achieved it before, like I said, in a business perspective of YouTube, but never before with something that I loved and was able to do with the passion. If you would have told me, 10 years ago when I was playing video games, or 11 years ago before the channel started with my brothers and Ricky, when I was playing video games with them, just chatting, if you would have told me I'd have a community of, at this point, altogether, like over 100,000 people where I get to talk about this stuff and take strangers who have become quite literal friends, not just in the comments, but in the community and at conventions and all that, I wouldn't have believed it. I'd be like, there's no way. I've been told before, I saved a piece of paper I have, and maybe I'll do a video about that, like if we hit 100,000 subscribers. I saved the paper and I have it, my wife got it framed for me for Christmas of the day I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and I just took a piece of paper and started writing down ideas of how cool it would be to share this with you guys. And the fact that it's been successful, it's always been successful to me because success was never measured by numbers of subscribers. I don't even like that word. It's always been measured to me by community, and you could see even in our first videos, like us already stoked, like, dude, we met people, this is amazing, like, this is awesome, we're sharing this. So the fact that it's grown this much and has been extended out this much is just something that I'll always be extremely humbled for. So thank you guys, and I can't wait to take you guys on the journey with what happens next. I'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully you guys want to even know. If you don't want to know, let me know. If you're like, dude, we don't really care at this point. We just want to see your room get flooded. I understand that too. So that's it. Thank you guys. I'm out of here, and Mikey has this, and it's very expensive. I don't know. This is a very weird item that is expensive. Mikey, I'm auctioning off your rare Mario. What? I'm just kidding.